Okay, economics editor Mike McKee standing by. As we had told you, he's in Jekyll Island, Georgia, with some Fed officials who are commemorating this 100-year anniversary of the Fed. And also with us is our Bloomberg best economist, Nariman Behravesh. And Nariman, I think you had expected, what, 100,000 gain?
That's right. That's right. We were above the consensus, but this is a great number. I have to tell you, this is very optimistic news, and it comes in the wake of other fairly good news. Things are improving. It looks like the last month or so, things have started to move upward again, and the momentum is hopefully building. But this is a great number, and the fact that the revisions in the prior months were up is always a very good sign.
Right. That is a great sign, Nariman. But how did we all miss this then? How did we all miss that there may be this turnaround in this month?
Well, I don't know that we all missed it. It's just that we thought that the pickup would be a little bit slower. You have to be a little careful, but not to overinterpret, as you know, any given sort of month. But yes, this is good. This is good news. This is good news. We expected it to be good, but it was even better than we expected it to be.
Okay, Mike?
Well, you know, all the Fed officials who are here are meeting right now talking about the monetary policy system, and there was a lot of talk on the sidelines this morning about what the Fed had done earlier this week. There was a bit of a whoa in the room when the number came out. Everybody was checking their BlackBerries. They've got to be happy with the progress in the economy, although it's going to work against their monetary policy decision to buy bonds a little bit, because we can see the 10-year rate now back above where it was when they instituted the program on Wednesday. So that's kind of counter to what they're trying to do.
I know,
but as Nariman says, the number is really good.
Right, because you get this number, Mike, and Nariman, join in, but you get this number which comes just days after the Fed is saying, oh, the economy needs some help, and we've got to get the jobless rate down, or the jobless rate down, and then you get this number which makes you think, well, did they act too soon?
Well, I think if we continue to get numbers
going into this.
Okay, Nariman, you take it first.
Sorry. If we continue to get numbers like this for, let's say, another month or two, then I think the Fed will back off. It's saying $75 billion a month, may do 2, maybe 3 months, and then it may stop if we continue to get numbers like this.
Okay, Mike?
Yeah, the Fed left themselves an out, Betty, when they announced the program. They said they would continue to monitor the economy and adjust their purchases as necessary. A lot of people took that to mean they could do more if needed, but it could go the other way. And that may have been a concession to some of the people on the committee who opposed additional QE, who didn't want to get locked in long term because they felt that this is the kind of thing we're going to see. Now, of course, we have to say, as economists always do, 1 month doesn't mean a trend. But if this does mark the start of an acceleration in the economy, they are going to have to think about whether they want to do the entire $600 billion, because it'll start raising those inflation questions.
Right. And, Nariman, let me just ask you this, because the jobless rate, though, has stayed, though, at 9.6%. I know you're going to tell me that there's factors in here as to why that is, right?
Absolutely. And I think what you've got is it's the difference of two numbers. The jobs numbers will go up, but as jobs improve, people come back into the labor force. So we're probably going to see a very slow decline in the unemployment rate, even as the jobs picture starts to improve. It's all because people are feeling more upbeat about the jobs market. So
does that mean that we ignore the jobless rate then in the next few months, or what?
I would focus much more on the payroll jobs numbers than the unemployment rate. Absolutely.
Nariman, though, at what point, though, are we achieving some sort of velocity where we are going to be able to see an acceleration in jobs and see that jobless rate come down pretty quickly?
I think so. If we keep this up, as you well know, the threshold for getting the unemployment rate down, over time is to get jobs growth of more than 100,000 a month. Well, 150 is an awfully good number.
Yes.
If we keep this up, then we will start to see that unemployment rate start to go down in a systematic way. So basically, what we'll have is more jobs growth than people coming into the labor force. That's what we're looking for here.
And this takes what? This takes stimulus off the table from Congress, or what, Nariman?
Absolutely. I see no doubt about that. I think we'll see that sort of fall off the radar screen, if you will, assuming this continues. I mean, all assuming that, but we think it will. But yeah, I think that's off the table at this point.
Okay, Nariman, thanks so much for sticking around with us.